Forget the movies, forget the myths. We're going to get real about the life of a Roman gladiator. And spoiler alert, it was a business. A brutal, bloody business.
So, when I say the word gladiator, what pops into your head? I bet it's something epic, right? The roar of the crowd, maybe a hero staring down an emperor, a warrior fighting for his freedom.
Yeah, exactly. Honor, glory, a hero's death. That's the stuff of legends, the stories we've all been sold. But you know what? The truth is almost never that epic. No, the real story is so much simpler. And honestly, way, way crueler. It wasn't about heroism. It was about survival. It was about economics. It was just cold, hard, pragmatic business. And that right there, that's the key to understanding everything. Your survival wasn't an act of mercy. It was a business model. To Rome, you weren't a person. You were an asset, an investment. Whether you lived or died came down to a simple calculation on a balance sheet. And to really get it, we have to go back, way back, long before you ever set foot in an arena. See, your story doesn't start in Rome. Nope, it starts in Gaul, what we'd call France today, in a world of forests and hilltops, a world that was about to completely disappear. Imagine your early life. It's loud, it's tribal. By age 5, you're learning the warrior stories of your people. By 13, you're basically a man, expected to fight in raids. And these aren't glorious battles, they're fast, ugly, confusing things. At 15, you get married, because that's just what you do. You have a son. You think your world, your people will last forever. And then, when you're 21, Rome arrives. Not just a patrol, an entire army. And for a brief, shining moment, something impossible happens. All these tribes that spent generations killing each other, suddenly they're standing shoulder to shoulder. All the old feuds are forgotten. You march with your father, not for some grand idea of glory, but because you know if Rome wins, that's it. There's nothing left. But it's not enough. It's just not enough. The unity breaks, your leader surrenders. And just like that, your world is over. So you've gone from a warrior to property. You actually survived the battle. Your father didn't. And pretty quickly, you realize he was the lucky one. Your weapons are replaced with chains. Your name, your history, your entire identity, it's all just stripped away. I mean, just look at this transformation. This is the total scale of your loss. You were a warrior in Gaul. Now you're property in Rome. You were a father. Now you're a slave. You had a name. Now you have a number. You defended your people. Now you're owned by your enemy. In the space of a single season, the people who destroyed your entire world now own you. And then comes the slave market. You're stripped, you're turned, you're prodded. You can hear buyers arguing over your back, your legs, like your livestock. And this is where you learn your first real Roman lesson. Defeat is permanent. But your usefulness, that's negotiable. And because you're strong, you get sold. Not to a mine, not to a farm, but to a lanista, a guy who manages gladiators. And this is the business of blood. Welcome to the Ludus, your new home and your new prison. Don't get it twisted. This is not freedom. It's just a different kind of cage. And inside this cage, you quickly learn that Romans have a category for everything, especially their investments. Okay, so there are two main classifications for condemned men. First, you've got the damnati ad mortem. These are the guys who are condemned to die, period. They're criminals thrown into the arena for midday entertainment with basically no armor, no training. They're just there to be killed. But then there's the damnati ad ludus, condemned to the school. This is you. You're an investment. You're meant to be trained, fed, and turned into a profitable show. Your body isn't meant for a quick death. It's meant to make someone rich. And they absolutely protect their assets. I mean, your diet is weirdly specific. You're eating this thick, bland barley and beans. They're trying to pack fat on you, right? Not to make you soft, but to give you padding. Why? Because extra fat means when you get cut, it's a shallow, bloody wound. Looks great for the crowd, but it's not going to kill you. You even drink this foul ash mixed with water for calcium. And again, why? Because broken bones are expensive. And if there's one thing Rome hates, it's a wasted investment. So now we get to life in the arena. You're learning to bleed for a crowd that literally paid to see your pain. The training is just relentless, day in, day out. But honestly, nothing
can prepare you for that moment the gates swing open and you step out into the light for the first time.
The noise just hits you like a physical blow. We're talking tens of thousands of people screaming, demanding something from you, from your body. The sun is blinding, the sound is deafening, the sheer weight of expectation is crushing. And in that first fight, you're up against some scarred veteran. You barely make it out alive. But you learn. You learn how to perform. You learn how to bleed without dying. You learn how to read what the crowd wants. And as the years go by, you start to see who else fights in the arena. There's your kind, right? The slaves. You have no choice. Your past was wiped clean. But then there are the others. You've got the criminals. They have no hope. They're dead men walking. And then the weirdest bunch of all, the octorati. These are free men. They chose this life. Maybe to erase a massive debt, or maybe they're just chasing some twisted idea of glory. You look at them, and you don't get it.
So more years go by, you're 32 now. You're a veteran. You've actually survived long enough to start thinking, maybe there's a life after this. And right when that thought starts to take root, a choice arrives. And that choice comes in the form of a man named Spartacus.
And it's a hell of a choice, because at the exact same time your lanista, your owner, starts using a new word around you. Soon. He says, soon you'll have your freedom. He's dangling the Ludus, the wooden sword that means you're officially released. A real, legal freedom, not the life of a runaway, always looking over your shoulder. So what do? Do you join the rebellion and become hunted prey for the rest of your short life? Or do you trust the very system that enslaved you in the first place? Spartacus is offering a chance to die fighting. Your owner is offering a piece of wood that promises a quiet life. You've seen it firsthand. Rome crushes rebellions. So you make your choice. You choose the path that seems real. You decide to wait it out. And that's how your story ends. A footnote in history. You go back to your routine, your only job, trying not to die. You're holding on to this belief that freedom is just a couple more fights away. And then your lanista schedules a special match. An impromptu fight. You have no idea who your opponent is. You step out into the light, into the roar of the crowd, and you see him. It's Spartacus. And in that moment, you know, this isn't just a match, it's a statement. You should have seen it coming. Your owner is using you, his most loyal asset, to crush this rebellion before it can even start. And you realize Spartacus isn't just fighting for a win. He's fighting to get you out of his way. He's just better. You're outmatched. You do what you have to do to survive. You yield. You raise your finger asking for mercy. But the crowd roars for blood. And as Spartacus moves in to deliver the final blow, he leans in close and whispers why. It had to be done. Rome trained the rebellion out of you. You would have chosen freedom even if it meant betraying them. And the worst part? He's right. You would have. And so you die. You die to applause. There's no wooden sword, no quiet life. You're just another asset being written off the books. Your story doesn't end with glory. It ends as entertainment, a tiny footnote in a history that never even bothered to learn your name. Rome fed on warriors, on slaves, on blood. But what happens when it runs out of other people to feed on? After you're gone, Spartacus does escape. The rebellion happens. Rome, of course, hunts him down and crushes it. The games go on for a while, and then they fade. The empire keeps expanding, and then it starts to rot from the inside out, collapsing under its own massive weight. Which really leaves you with one last question, doesn't it? After consuming countless lives just like yours, eventually, Rome had no one left to eat but itself.